to World's Cooldown to break down the day.
Thank you very much, Medic. Great cast on the day. As always, welcome to World's Cooldown. I am Freak Azales on the far side. In the middle, the one and only Spawn. How you doing?
I never doubted him, Freak. Not for one moment. I didn't think, not even close, baby. That was a good game from FunPlus Phoenix in the end.
Yeah, honestly, my pick'ems are fairly safe. I had FPX number 1. The one I tweeted out had Splyce at number 2. The one I actually chose was Splyce at number 3. So not perfect.
How many you got going?
Well, I only have the one tweet, so
okay.
you know we're going to that one.
That's the one you got to go with.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one can prove otherwise unless they have the celebrity pick'ems on the website like the other years. Regardless, though, I mean, an incredible day. Splyce 3-0 to get into this tiebreaker. Sadly, couldn't finish the day, but like that is still an awesome performance and a great showing.
Yeah, absolutely is. And I think that when I came into yesterday's show, I was actually saying that there's a lot of positive. Well, not yesterday. There was a day off. Day before, there was a lot of positives for the young Splyce lineup, and all they needed was that one play, that one moment, that one day to be able to push it in. And I think that what we saw today is that momentum in League of Legends at Worlds is still a major factor when you play all your games on a single day. And the young stars started to ramp up and started to play good League of Legends.
I think the biggest thing for me was honestly in their wins, Humanoid was so important, right? He really was performing very well when you compare to how he looked in really all their losses. It's night and day. It feels like if Humanoid turns in a good game, the rest of the team is playing solid enough that they're going to win. If he has a poor game, they're going to lose. And that's kind of been the story for me thus far with Splyce.
And one of the things that I've heard a lot from, especially the EU commentators, is that Splyce seem to have somewhat limited champion pools, that they are one of the most predictable teams here at Worlds. Of course, we will see them in the quarterfinals. We'll see if research against them in the next couple of days and then into next week is going to matter here. But they're getting comfortable champions, right? Again, everyone's coming in to week 2 of the groups, essentially. Everyone knows who they're playing against, and all 3 regularly scheduled games Splyce took home.
And in these pesky like best of ones, it is so easy to get the champions you want. Just pick blue side and make the other team ban Pantheon, Kiana, Kale, because they're all apparently OP, unplayable against. You saw that multiple times today, teams did not want to target out specific players as opposed to letting through the OP champions that we've seen with such a high ban presence. So, you know what? If they get into a favorable best of 5 and they're able to sneak away some blue side games, hell, at this point, anything is possible in draft.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, but being that second seed makes it so much harder. I just think that the teams that are going to come out in first of these groups are going to be so dangerous. You're expecting G2, SKT, and then X,
TL, IG,
right?
or Damwon all look like pretty strong teams.
Yeah, so it will be a tough task for Splyce, really, regardless of who they get, I would expect. But it's going to be FPX coming out, as the beneficiary of that. Yes, there will be some very tough second seeds as well, but you're going to be feeling so much better that your poor showing in the group stage did not cost you a first place seed.
Yeah, this is something that actually happened last year at Worlds where IG dropped their group stage, right? Dropped under Fnatic there and played KT Rolster first round. And a lot of people said, wow, that was such an incredible series. That could have been the finals. And if IG had won their group, it likely would have been based on bracketology. So I am kind of happy to see the FPX shaped up in time. I still think that they have the capability to be one of the top 3 teams at this tournament. Their very good games looked like that, but they had, of course, a lot of stumbles where they did not look like the top team they're supposed to be.
Yeah, and this is where I have to eat the humble pie, because I called out Doinb. I said throughout his LPL career, this has been a guy that has done so well throughout regular seasons and then failed to make international stages. People were hoping that with his great performances at Rift Rivals, that wasn't going to happen internationally. Well, this final game, Super Carry Doinb did show up to play, and I think that he had a terrific performance on that Renekton. It was a flex pick. It was more of that kind of dark magic that we talk about when we speak to this guy, and it just shows the importance of the mid laner on this roster, because he really is the heart and soul of FunPlus Phoenix.
And I think individually, he honestly played very well throughout the group stage as a whole. I think his laning phases were really strong. Yes, there were some mistakes, but FunPlus, I still think it should be disappointing. Yes, they're going to be happy that they got first seed, but that feels more like relief than happiness, because they even talked about in interviews, assuming that they were going to 6-0. Their stock has certainly fallen a lot. Yeah, you got first in your group, but a lot of people that I've talked to, the casters and analysts coming into this event, peg this as the worst group in World's history, if not at least one of the handful of worst groups that we have seen as far as skill level. So you're expecting to dominate a group like that if you're supposed to be a World's contender.
And they went 4-2. They were a game away from being eliminated against a team that had beaten the first time around.
And some of their wins weren't clean either.
Sure.
They went 5-2, Free.
They
went 5-2.
Yes, the regularly scheduled went 4-2. They did win the tiebreaker. Yes, 5-2 is the real record. Either way, we're going to hear from more from Doinb from Fun Plus Phoenix.
Thank you very much, guys. Laure here, Fun Plus Phoenix just took the first seed of Group B. Congratulations, Doinb. You didn't have the easiest road, and you came here at Worlds as favorites. What does it mean to you to end up with the first seed anyway, even though you had a difficult journey?
首先恭喜你们获得就是这一组的第一种子这样子，但是其实你们进来这次是世界总决赛的话，预期是非常非常高的。那中间也经历很多的这个挫折，那最终还是有办法拿下第一种子而言，对你而言是什么意义？
我们拿了小组赛的第一嘛，感觉这样的话，我们霸场不会遇到其他组的第一，我觉得挺好的。
So we took first seed, and what that means for us is that we won't meet other first seeds from other groups. So I think it's quite good.
Nice. And you had an outstanding performance for the last game. So for your first time at Worlds, being the main carry through the game that led you to first seed, what does it mean?
你刚才的表现非常的精彩，而且你也是作为一个主要的 C 位发挥的非常出色。那对于你第一次来到世界赛有这样的表现，你有什么样的看法？
其实我觉得我对我现在的表现不是就很不满意吧，因为我最近就有时候打得好，有时候打得不好，就不太稳定。我不喜欢这种选手，我不喜欢我这种选手。
Actually, I'm not very satisfied with my performance because a lot of times I can be quite good, but a lot of times I can be quite bad as well. I really dislike players like that, and by saying that, I really dislike myself right now.
All right, so tell me then, what do you need to do to stop being a coin flip player, if you feel like it?
那你要怎么样才会不是一个丢硬币选手？
你什么？
你要怎么样才不会是一个丢硬币选手？
这个我也不知道。
I don't really know how.
We'll see how it develops through quarterfinals now. Splyce beat you on the first time. What did you change in the way you approached the game to beat them on the second round?
那第一次的话 ，Splyce 其实是击败你们的。那第二次对战他们，你们改变了什么，可以达到胜利？
就很简单，不选混子。
It's very simple. I just don't pick champions that are passive and do nothing.
Sounds simple indeed. Now, moving forward, what did you learn from group stage? Because you said you made many mistakes, you were not happy with your performance. So, what did you learn in group stage that will lead you to victory in the future?
你觉得你在小组赛有学到什么，可以让你在未来取得更多胜利？
就小组赛学到了，也是就一个吧。我还是要选一个能 carry 的英雄，要带我的队友 carry。
I think I've only learned one thing, and that's I need to pick something that can carry and carry my teammates forward.
Sounds really simple, like a plan. Now, is there anything you want to say to the fans who were cheering for you and watching you today?
你有什么话想对就是观看的粉丝们说吗？
想对我们 LPL 的粉丝们说，现在已经就很晚了嘛，现在差不多凌晨3点了。谢谢大家的支持，然后你们就好好休息。就明天开始，我们希望支持我们其他 LPL 的战队，谢谢。
I just want to say that it's actually really late right now. It's about 3 a.m. in China. So to all the LPL fans, thanks for supporting and thanks for watching. Tomorrow we will cheer for other LPL teams.
Well, congratulations again, Doinb, Shishay, for the interview, and thank you again for the translation, Clement. Now back to you guys.
Thank you very much. So to recap how today went, Fun Plus Phoenix and Splyce are the top seeds out of the group. They advanced to the quarterfinals. Of course, that does mean that J-Team and GAM Esports are gone. They are finished. Worlds 2019 is over for those two squads. Maybe predicted for some, maybe not for others. We can see there are still teams to await them, of course, as we can look at the rest of the groups here.
Yeah, I'm most excited, looking towards tomorrow about this kind of battle for Group A, right? We have G2, clearly the heavy favorites to get out in first, but Griffin and Cloud9 were relatively close. Even HKA did have some close games in that group. So I think a lot to be decided, especially when you look at how Splyce's group ended up versus how it started. Still anyone's game.
Yeah, absolutely. If you had told me at the start of the day that the 1 and 2 then Splyce would end the day 4 and 3 in coming out in the second seed, I would be pretty shocked at that. And I think that the thing I'm most interested in taking away is how the ability to play fast, and we saw that a couple of times today, will actually influence some of the other groups, because we thought this was going to be a scaling meta. We thought we'll in for the long haul with some long days. However, tiebreakers aside, it does seem to be speeding up a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, Aggression seems to be doing a whole lot more. So to kind of talk about that point, sort of final thoughts on both GAM GAM Esports and J Team. This will be probably the last time we talk about them on the broadcast. What do you think?
I think GAM, to me, was less than I thought they could have been, essentially. We saw kind of some promise in their one win over J Team, and I just felt like they didn't draft enough hard engage in many of their matches to actually enable the kind of style that they were wanting to play. They were a very exciting team. They wanted to go aggressive, but they didn't always have the tools to actually force their opponents to fight them.
And let's get realistic. If you're playing top side of the map at the moment in League of Legends, you are leaving so much gold on the table on the bottom side, and the importance of early game Drakes. That's what we saw from GAM, a tendency to want to play around. Zeros, again, a player that we've expected big things on the international stage multiple times now. I feel like he had a better tournament, but probably still not up to his domestic standard. Sure. So that would leave wanting for sure. But Levi's last game on the international stage, like, this guy is just such a joy to watch. That Lee Sin performance was clean. And even when they started to fall behind, multiple times he was trying to drag his team back into it. So I think a really great performance from him.
And I've got to say, as far as J-Team, I really did enjoy watching Fofo in particular. He was so exceptional in some of their games, in particular their win over Splyce. In the previous days, he was so good to watch on that LeBlanc.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that there is some players that are stepping up to join him now. I think that Rest had a pretty good performance. He had a couple of really nice game-playing games in there. I think Koala as well had some moments. So I think that, with J-Team coming into the world stage, it was the Fofo show and everyone playing around that. I think that they do have multiple players to now play around, and I hope to see them once again come back, because this is a player that has been trying for so long to get to the world stage, and he would have felt like he was so close to achieving his goal of pushing LMS back into that relevancy.
And on the GAM Esports side, I actually thought Lil V had a really good performance as well, some really, really strong performances. But otherwise, we're going to talk about Group A, which takes to the Rift tomorrow, and it starts with a huge matchup, Griffin versus Cloud9. This is much like the Splyce one from today. I feel like if Griffin wins, C9 are almost always eliminated. There's a slim chance through.
It really does set the tone for the group, and I just want to see if Cloud9 is able to right some of the wrongs that they've had in these previous days, because even in their one win, it was not super impressive. They seem to have really struggled how they're playing around side lanes, and I'm so curious, are we going to see Sven Skaren coming back in? He was the LCS MVP, and he's nowhere to be seen. So, with things not going as well, can he come back in? Can he right that ship?
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. And I think that I also would like to see Sneaky back on in Marksman. What I've seen is that when teams aren't used to playing around Marksman, it doesn't matter about your individual proficiency on the pick. It's about the consistent threat. So the Heimer did do it for me, because that is still consistent damage, still allows you to set up around Baron. But any of these other mages, maybe aside from Cassiopeia as well, just warps the game state of how you have to play. And Cloud9 for so long has played around their star 80 carry player. So I think that they need to go back towards that style.
And of course, we spent most of our time talking about C9. G2, by the way, they're going 6-0. That's all I should say. They're doing great. So if you missed any of today's action, be sure to tune in for our rebroadcast starting in just a few minutes. That's going to do it for us here. G2 going 6-0. Cloud9 going to fight Griffin for the second spot. Maybe something else happens, but that's going to do it for us here today in Berlin.
I agree.
We all agree I'm the smart one here. That's all from us. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow for more Worlds 2019. Whew.
Maybe they can stop this from happening. Now has to retreat here. The rest of the team pulling out. Zeros running away, but LWX just gets to walk through the entire team's in. Gonna get the setup. The Gragas grabs the kill. That's gonna be 2. LWX uncontested on the backside, doing so much damage.
Coming. Doinb on the side.
That's gonna be a 3-man knockup. It's everything you want. An unstoppable force. The double jump. He can fish for it. Vizitachi just gonna bounce right in. Lands it on 2. And Splyce now trying to clean the fight. Desperate to get something back. But both the carries know. One going down. Fofo is dead. It's all eyes on Little V. But it's just not going to be enough. Desire to pull through the feathers. He cannot do it in the end. Zin goes in. But the Alistair goes in. The follow-up is there. And Rest is taking out the Fofo! Fofo pushes them all back into the pit. He says, you want it. You got it. He's already almost fallen here. It doesn't matter how tanky you are, because he has been shut down. Now Splyce all grouped up. Humanoid jumping onto the back line. Chris almost goes down. Doinb on the front line. He will fall first.
Yeah. Snake with us. Come on, Snake.
Come on. No? You
Feel
don't want a snake? Okay.
Splyce just took
God.
down FPX.
Here comes Cobby, 5,000 HP left on the Baron. The hook's going to connect, and here comes the TV. Levi's going to have to jump out of the back of the pit, because the supreme display of talent lands a stun. Zin down, now they're looking for Levi. He will fall as well, and the Baron is there.
And Splyce have a minute left on this Baron, but they're going to pick him.
No Zonias yet, and there's the shutdown. Here comes Doinb. themselves as now Fofo's forced down towards the bottom side of the fight. Right now, that's exactly what they're doing. The ban goes down, Gimgu's gonna kill Fofo. Just 2v5 him. FPX are too strong. J-Team, you tried your hardest, but FPX are not getting knocked out today. Doinb stepping forward, lands the stun on Northscaven, who tries to jump away. There's the charm as well. But already Xerxes dead, that's 2. They get Chris, but the chase is on. LWX jumping onto Humanoid, who goes gold, and Kobe pops his stopwatch as well. But you have to feel this.